Welcome to Red Chair Podcast. That's right. It's me, Mario Mateo, and I am back. I am back with another live stream podcast. Live podcast, live stream. I really don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm doing it. As the thumbnail indicates, I'm testing out a new laptop. My Aunt Rosa, out of the blue, I guess she watched my last live stream and saw how frustrated I was that my podcast I was complaining about my laptop. My laptop is I have the laptop right here. It's on the floor. I can't reach it. How it was affecting me. How I couldn't... last live stream was all right. I just couldn't open up a window or look something up on YouTube and show it here and talk over it at the same time. I tried to talk about that Chick-fil-A girl and the Ariana Grande. The, whatchamacallit, who's that other chick? Olivia Rodrigo. TikTok. And I couldn't do two things. That old MacBook, I feel like it's got more memory than this MacBook Air. Anyway, the bottom line is my aunt bought a MacBook Air M1 Silicon about 4 months ago. She had it with her Apple ID. She never used it. She said it was too complicated, and she asked me if I wanted it. I said, well, I could try it. Ideally, what I would need to do this a lot more professionally, which clearly it isn't, I would need maybe a Mac Studio or a Mac Mini M1. And probably find those relatively cheap right now. But hey, this MacBook Air M1, even though it's a MacBook Air with 8 gigabytes of memory, on paper, my MacBook Pro from a few years ago, it's Intel-based, and I think it has 16 gigs of memory, but it's just on the fritz. It doesn't work. So it's going to be a lot better. Let's see. Hopefully it'll be a lot better. I don't know. I did the OBS setup wizard, and it's said it's streaming in 1080. I don't know. I haven't opened up the chat yet. Is it streaming in 1080? Let's see what the chat says. Why do you use iMovie? I haven't used iMovie since iMovie first came out. I don't use iMovie. I use Premiere to edit. I'm using OBS as the streaming software. So anyways, why can't I hear... No, the desktop audio. I had to do a bunch of things. Anyways, let me tell you the story. So I grabbed the MacBook Air at my aunt's house. I take it back home. But it's signed in with her Apple ID, and she doesn't remember the password. And it didn't come with a brick. So the next day, she went to Best Buy. She got the brick and the charger. And I figured out a way to bypass the password. I just needed her Apple ID. So I called her this morning, and I'm setting up this laptop to stream the same way I was streaming on my old MacBook. This is all very interesting. But anyways, this is a test. I hope the audio is okay. Yeah, okay, so let's test some things out. Let's open up Safari. Oh, you know what I'll do? I actually posted a vlog the other day on my Spanish channel. If you don't know my Spanish channel, or you don't speak Spanish, I guess that's why you don't know my Spanish channel. It's called Entre Mis Amigos. And I started it years ago. All right, let's see. Let's see if we can. It's my Spanish channel, and I made a vlog because on Easter Sunday I went with my dad to the Marlins game before spending Easter with my family and before Ubering. Let's see if I can. That's the other problem with running a podcast or OBS with a laptop is that you need to have two windows open at the same time. But I can't because I can only look at one window at a time. I guess I could have that screen as an additional screen, but then the problem is I want the guest to be able to see what I'm seeing. So I mirror the the screen on my external. All right, let's see if we can open up a Safari window without crashing the system. All right, here we are on YouTube. How is that Easter vlog? How is the audio? I can have the
Easter
audio
Sunday.
higher, and then you can't hear me. I want to have it testing. So basically, I went to the Marlins game with my dad. Check out the video. It's called Entre Mis Amigos. And I showed the game. I got, actually, interestingly enough, one of my dad's friends that has really nice tickets to the Marlins. He had an extra ticket to go to the PNC Club. So if you want to check out, oh yeah, my dad was like trading baseballs for the free here he goes, for the free shirts that they were giving out. All right, so check this out. It's like a it's like a it's like a VIP area, the PNC Club. It's called. You could watch the. You're right there behind home plate. You could watch batting practice. There's a whatever. I'm not going to show this video. Well, look at my seats. There's that gentleman next to me is the guy who hooked it up. He had an extra wristband. So, anyways, that was Sunday. Now, taking it off. Hopefully that ran and you heard the audio for that, but you did not. It did not lag, and you could hear my audio over it. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah, technology. So, I don't know. I started working for the Miami Herald when I was 21. And I've always been a Mac guy. I started using Macintosh at New World School of the Arts. Maybe we should just do the Mario Cam only. Why is this here? Why is this here? Why is that here? That shouldn't be there. I don't have that open. Why is this here? You know what I don't like? I don't like how you can't, in OBS, like you should be able to double click this and tell which layer it is. Is it the live chat? Okay, it's the live chat. Let's see if we can do a TikTok thing here. I'm going to open TikTok. I'm going to share screen. Let me see. audio input, Mac OS capture, media source. Is it media source? I forgot how to do this. The point of my story is I can't do two things at the same time. I'm getting older. I'm 45, and I'm starting to see technology. I'm almost going to be 46 in May. I'm starting to see technology kind of pass me by. Like setting up this new laptop. I have the Adobe Creative Cloud, right? So I can download Photoshop, and so I can download Premiere. The new version of Photoshop, it took me like a half hour to find the magic wand tool. I was like, that's like the most standard tool in Photoshop that's been there since I was in college, learning how to select things, and I couldn't find it. And I'm like, maybe the magic wand tool is gone. Maybe I'm that old. Maybe maybe it's like the magic wand tool. What is that? Photoshop 1 through 4? Actually, the first Photoshop I did in New World, I think it was Photoshop 3 they had. So I was like Googling, where's the magic wand tool? And I'm like, okay, I'm officially a boomer. I'm officially not tech savvy. And when did this happen? When did this happen? When I was 21 and I started working for the Herald, I was like technologically advanced. I knew everything in Photoshop. I could Photoshop things that people were like amazed. You know, I would do like these, I would substitute people's faces and stuff on, and I would do like, you know, crazy things on Photoshop. People wouldn't believe it. And now here we are, 20 years later, 20 some odd years later, and like I don't know where the magic wand tool is anymore, or if it even exists. One thing I don't like about these microphones is, they cover my mouth. They cover my mouth. See, on a lot of podcasts, they're like microphones are down here. You could see them, you know, but I don't have the kind of audio interface. It's so cheap, the one I have. The one I have is literally like, it was under $30. It's just two XLR cables that connect via USB to your Mac, and you got audio. The mics are good, but the interface is what I need to figure out. But anyways, why is this all? Why is the background not stable? All right. So let's try to sync up my iPhone with this capture. Screen capture. Is it still a screen capture? Even if it's your iPhone? Let's see. Built in. No, it's not a screen capture. I did this. It's a camera, right? It's a camera. No, it's not a camera. Video capture device. Let's see. iPhone desk view camera. Is that it? No. iPhone camera. Okay, so this is basically... All right, so here's my old laptop. It's on the floor. That's the screen that I want the guest in the red chair to see. This is me. I feel like the other thing is I'm losing my memory. I could have sworn there was a way for me to share the screen of my iPhone in OBS, and I swear I've done it before. Let's see. But now I can't figure it out. And now, oh, look at this. This is good. Yeah. What's happening there? I hope that's in good quality. Look at that. Look at that. We're staring into infinity. That's great. That's real great. That's great. Okay, let's delete that. That clearly wasn't the way to do it. So I don't know. I guess I should just keep talking about technology and how it's blowing me by. You don't keep up with it. I guess after the Herald, it all started with the crash of my iMac. I had the 5K iMac. I believe I bought it in 2015, 2016, 2017. It was a good Mac. It crashed. After that, and that Mac used to edit. I used to edit my vlogs. My DoorDash vlogs were edited. A lot of them were edited. I'd like to know when I started editing on my laptop because it was the only computer that I had left. When that Macintosh crapped out on me, that was like a key turning point in my technological de-evolution. I took it to this one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made in my life. Never take your computer to one of those places that fix your iPhone screen when it cracks. Those guys don't know what they're doing. Not only did they mess it up, they couldn't fix it. I thought it was the power supply. It just wouldn't start up one day. And I thought it was the power supply. I turned it into this place. They say they fix Macs as well. They put a new power supply on it, and it still wasn't working. And the ribbon is what was wrong with it or something. But anyways, what they ended up doing was somebody at the place broke the screen, and I was like, well, so you couldn't fix it, and now you broke it even more? Yeah, sorry. So we're going to replace the screen. So basically, they gave me my MacBook. They said it was going to cost like $500 to fix, and I'm like, yeah, you think I'm going to give you guys $500 after you couldn't fix it and then broke it even further? So anyways, once I stopped using that iMac, it's the good kind. It's the 5K display. It had the Retina display. It was maxed out. I bought it refurbished, but it was maxed out it had 36 gigs of RAM. It was working fine. I bet you if they could fix it, it would still be a better option than my laptop. It was a lot more powerful than my laptop. But that's set in a chain of and yeah, I'm trying to do this live podcast thing, and it's hard. It's hard. And it's especially hard when you don't have the right equipment. The right equipment for the job. You realize that my channel is just about complaining, right? Oh, look, Bobby Alta has a new video. Let me check. What's the live stream? Am I even live? What's happening? Am I even live? I don't think I'm live. Am I live? Is anybody watching this? I don't think I'm live. I don't think I'm live. I think I'm just talking to myself. That's great. That's great. I love talking to myself. Well, let's see. Let's go to my channel. It does say that I'm live. It does say that I'm live. Here I am. 10 people are watching. Oh, Jerry, it looks great. Yeah, Hey, what's up, Bourbon Colony? Avoid rush hour traffic. Pretty smart. Yep. Okay. There was a way to share the damn screen of your iPhone and have it like right here. And that's what I wanted to test out. But what sucks is that I should have figured that out before going live because now it's going to produce dead air. I should have just, I don't know why I called this the Red Chair podcast. I should have called it the Dead Air podcast. Like, yeah, just turn it on if you want to, like, hear a guy rambling. I'm not prepared, although I am taking notes now when I'm out Ubering for topics. Honestly, I think what I really need is a guest because when the guest is talking is when I should be tinkering with all this stuff. Like I could just be like, yeah, yeah, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, hold on, I'm trying to figure something out. Um, Yesterday was a very slow day. We're starting to see like the slow season in Uber. And I decided to not go out early. I went early yesterday and I only did like 2 rides in the span of like 3 hours. It was really bad in Miami Beach. Um, Video capture device seen media source. Could it be media source? Mac OS screen capture. Okay, could it be media source? Let's see if it's media source. No, media source is like if you have a file. Whatever. I didn't really have anything to. All right, I think it's time to go to the red chair. It's red chair time. I'm sorry, guys. This is not the best planned out. I just wanted to. I almost wasn't even going to call this a real episode. I was just going to do some audio tests and see how it worked streaming. I'm curious to see how long I can stream and at what quality, and if it does at least 720. I think I'm streaming at 1080, which is insane because I realized it really isn't my internet connection because my internet connection was pretty good the last time. I think it's the ability of my computer to think about doing two things at the same time. One of them is streaming this platform, and the other one is looking up a video at YouTube or opening another app. All right, let me go to the red chair. I wish I had a little button right now where I could play a little jingle, but I don't have that little fucking Roadcaster Duo thingy where you could put some little muzak in the background, some background music, some, elevator music while I get off of this chair, get up of this chair. While I get up off of this chair and sit on the other chair. Hold on. Hello, how are you doing? All right. Great. I love it when I'm not in frame. That's like the cornerstone of this podcast is people are not in frame when they're speaking. It's a new feature. That's better. All right. So I would like to thank personally my Aunt Rosa for letting me use her laptop. I don't want to say that she gave it to me because honestly, I feel bad that she gave it to me. And I feel like once I get a better setup here, I don't know. It's a MacBook. It's a 13. It's basically the same size as the MacBook I'm used to having. And it's an M1 chip with 8 gigs of memory. 256 gig SSD. Here it is. I have a little bell there. How's the audio, guys? How's the audio on the podcast? Let's just do story time or something. I'm still here. Don't worry. I'm just thinking of what I need to do. At least I know now. Let's see, it's going live. Let's click on it. Let's see what the comments are saying. All right. Turn the audio down on my phone. This is so ghetto. Everything about this is cheap. It's unprepared. It's unprofessional. This is part of the complaint that I have about, like, how did this happen to me? Like, I kind of now relate to the older generation when you try to show them something on your phone and that they just don't get it. They think it's too complicated. It's like I'm kind of going through a version of that, but for all this live streaming, Adobe is like, there's a new version of Photoshop every 6 months or something. Now there's AI tools on your Photoshop. It's like everything's getting more complicated. And, you're stuck doing, if you don't do it. Part of the reason I got good at computers was not only did I hit the ground running, learning Photoshop while I was in college at art school, but when I started working for the Herald, I was on it every day. And every day I would learn something, and I had to process, hundreds of images every day. I had to open them up. I had to change them. I had to color correct them. I had to save them into folders. I had to do batch work, like, holy shit, all these photos need to be brightened. I would batch them, like create actions to do the same thing to like multiple photos in a folder, like update the levels on them. And I got pretty good at Photoshop. I was like kind of ahead of my time. Like nobody in the year 2000 was doing the shit. Well, what? 2001, 2002, early aughts. Like before smartphones, people really didn't have understanding of computers. It was very rare to find a guy who knew how to work computers. But then when the smartphone came out, things became easier. The iPad and everything. Everybody's got a computer in their pocket today. Slow season is here. Vinny Cuz in the chat. Yeah, Vinny. I don't know if it's here already because we obviously have the F1 races coming out soon. Coming up in May. But that's 3 days, But that's 3 days of premiere rides only. And I am stoked about that. I want to get in the habit. I'm mentally preparing myself for those 3 days. Because last year, if you didn't see that video of my Saturday night on the F1 weekend, I was doing after a night of doing only Premiere rides. I'm in Coral Gables, and I said, "Oh, a Premiere ride hasn't rang in about 15 minutes. Maybe I should." I was so dumb. Maybe I should put Comfort and Electric on. So I went down to Comfort, and that's when I pick up this guy and this kid to Miami Beach, and in the middle of I-95, the guy just spews yak all over the Tesla. Ruining my night, ruining my jacket. It got on me. Oh, watch the video. 3 short days. Yeah. But hey, look, Live Golf Tournament is this weekend or something, right? The Trump Doral is hosting the Live Golf thing. So I think we're going to have an okay weekend. And I didn't do that bad Monday. Yesterday was pretty bad. Today I felt like it was going to get just as bad. It was going to be just as bad. So I stayed home for the afternoon. There is another conference. I think that guy Grant Cardone is at the Diplomat in Hallandale, and a couple of the guys on my group chat is have done Premiere rides from there. So Hallandale, Vinny, if you don't know, all these real estate people are in Hallandale at the Diplomat, and there's Premiere rides ringing out of there. I didn't go yesterday because it's just too far. Not too far, but I wanted to stick to the airport strategy, and I don't know. I've been kind of in a rut lately, guys, as far as Uber. I'm kind of like, and this happened last year, and I don't know why. Is it the weather? Anyways, so it looks like this is all Live Golf and Tortuga. Oh, there's a Tortuga Festival. Oh, last year I didn't do the Tortuga Festival. I just figured people were going to get in your car with sand on their feet and everything. 'Cause it's like literally on the beach. All right. Well, that's neither here nor there. I don't really want to talk about Uber on these live podcasts, but I guess it's what's going on in my life. But yeah, okay. So I'm happy. Oh, another thing that happened with this laptop. For some reason, my external hard drives, where I save all my vlog footage, and after I finish editing on my desktop, I transfer everything into the external hard drive to have a backup of all my videos. And that is not mounting on the M1 Silicon Mac. It's mounting on my old Intel-based hard drive. And I'm wondering if that's just an incompatibility with, what I haven't tried is the G drive. Maybe I should try that now. I don't know. All these complicated things, like I just got an M1 Mac in 2024. They're on M3 already. So, just going back to the idea of being left behind. I feel like I'm being left behind. It's almost like the future of this is your phone is going to be your computer. Like the idea of a desktop computer, like, is becoming more rare. Like, who needs a desktop computer? I mean, I thought I did, and I do need it. But most people with their phones, most people don't have a need for a personal computer anymore. It's almost like we're on the downhill of that era. It's more power on this little device right here. I was never a Mac. I was never a laptop guy either. So that was another kind of uncomfortable period of when my iMac broke down. I was always used to having a desktop computer. The laptop
was just in case of emergencies or if I had to do something while traveling. When I did all those Disney vlogs, I would edit all those Universal, Orlando, and Disney vlogs. That was the only time I would edit on the laptop. And I didn't like it. I didn't like it because you didn't have the screen real estate. You didn't have screen real estate. You, I don't know, I just felt confined. It was slower. And then when my iMac crapped out, I decided, well, I already have this nice, powerful MacBook. Let's just get an external monitor, and then it'll just feel like my iMac, right? So I got a 4K display, Samsung, good reviews on YouTube, good. Got it on a good deal on the Amazon shop, and for the most part, it's been working. And most of my Uber vlogs have been edited on that laptop using the external monitor. But I don't know. I'm just complaining about not having shit that I need. All right. Well, what else? What's in the news, man? I can't get away from this P. Diddy news, huh? P. Diddy's everywhere. P. Diddy. Oh, don't even talk about the real. Somebody mentioned the real estate thing. Yeah, I haven't had time to study. I studied a little bit, but pretty much that whole 7-week, 7-day course, in one ear, out the other. I have a recording. I wasn't supposed to do this, but I recorded some of the review of the questions that I need to know for the class exam. I just need to prep it. I just feel so overwhelmed, man. And I think that was that week. That was the beginning. I was getting into a stride with the channel in December and January. I think January I got the most views I ever got. I did that thing with the Cat Williams short, and I was posting shorts on a regular. I was hitting a stride, and then that hell week came. And I got left behind that week. And then I got a 69 on the damn thing. So I can't even take the state exam yet, which I still plan on doing. I'm planning on doing it, you know. It's always good to have it. Besides, you know, my mom's the broker, and my mom I mean, she has clients that want to put their house for sale. She wants to give them to me. Like, I would have a listing already. I would have a listing as soon as I get my state exam. But I'm just working every day and paying bills and trying to set this thing up. Some other developments have happened recently that I don't want to talk about just yet, but you'll probably be hearing about it. God, what a bummer podcast this is. Just for those of you guys stuck in traffic listening to this, man, I'm sorry. P. Diddy. Yeah, P. Diddy. I used to tell people, now I can't even mention P. Diddy because people that come to Miami, tourists, or people who have recently moved from here, from New York, I always tell them about how Miami's changed. It's like everybody's favorite subject to talk about. How Miami's changed, how it's growing. I'm almost tired of talking about it with customers. Man, you know what I've been doing lately, guys? I just been shutting the hell up in the Uber. Yesterday I don't think I had one single conversation with anybody that I gave a ride to. I just picked him up. I mean, I was courteous. I was like, hey, how you doing? Let me help you with your bags, blah, blah, blah. How you doing? Oh, good. It's great. Is this the address we're going to? Great. And I just go. And I take them. And for the most part, they've been keeping to themselves. But yeah, I'm not outwardly being that jovial, friendly guy. Just doing a job here, guys. Just doing a job. And sometimes you need a day like that. And sometimes you get a customer who wants to be chatty Cathy and they're cool and you have a great conversation. But yeah, I've definitely been on the quiet side of things. So one of the things we talk about is, oh, how long have you been here? They ask. And I'm like, well, I moved here when I was 14 in 1992. So I've been here since the early 90s. Oh, wow, you must have seen so many changes. Yes. And honestly, I've been coming to Miami like every it's my older sister on my dad's side had always lived here. So I would take every summer I'd come here. It wasn't like I just moved to Miami in 1992 and that's all I remember. Like I used to come here in the 80s. Like Miami was my second home almost. And yeah, I remember Miami and the Miami Vice days in the 80s and stuff. That's why I can talk to Gaston and stuff about what we remember, what malls, the Bakery Center, all that stuff. One of the things I tell people about the 90s, especially like the mid to late 90s, P. Diddy was a big influence on making Miami Beach popular. A lot of people don't give him credit. You could say Madonna as well in that time period. Madonna, when she moved down here. But I think both of them moved down here probably on the heels of the Versace, Gianni Versace. Remember when he got murdered here? What a crazy story. Wonder if there's a documentary on that. I remember that guy's name. He had a weird name, Andrew Cunanan. So right now the Versace mansion is just some tourist trap that everybody, I give rides there at least once a week. Oh, Versace mansion. Okay, cool. People want to go in there. I think it's a restaurant now or something. Or people just walk around that area. But that used to be where Versace lived. That used to be where he lived. And one afternoon, I forgot what year was this 96 or 94? I think I was in high school when this happened. How baller. Think about how much Miami Beach has changed. Imagine somebody actually living on Ocean Drive. It's inconceivable to me. Like, what? There's a house there that looks the ocean, the beach? Like, impossible. Like, nobody lives on there. It's all hotels and restaurants now. Although I think that Clevelander, they're making a condo unit there. Anyways, Versace shot in his head point blank outside of the steps after he was walking to, I believe he was going to News Cafe. I wonder if that News Cafe, I think it's a Pink Taco now. I don't know if that's a News Cafe anymore. Whatever happened to News Cafe? They were so popular. Anyways, but Versace brought some of that glitz and glam to Miami Beach. His designs reflected that. People still wear those kind of tacky-looking Versace shirts. It's a staple of kind of a tropical look here in Miami Beach. Gianni Versace, Madonna. But P. Diddy in the late 90s, I called him Puff Daddy. He was still named Puff Daddy. When I was in high school and college, we used to see Puff Daddy with his crew on motorcycles on South Beach. Like we'd pull up to a red light and So a crew of motorcycles would pull up next to you. You'd look out and you'd be like, holy shit, it's Puff Daddy. Like, he really made Miami Beach, I think, the capital of hip-hop. After it was used in multiple videos as backdrops, the Miami Beach lifestyle, the scene down here, the tropical, the culture. That's kind of when it became like a hotspot for the hip-hop community. The hip-hop culture. So I give P. Diddy a lot of credit for that, for turning Miami Beach into that kind of hotspot. And now it's like, wow, I don't know what to believe. We read all the shit that's going on. His house getting raided and allegedly accusations of trafficking. I don't know. So a lot of it doesn't make sense. I'm staying away from it, but now I am not mentioning Puff Daddy or P. Diddy to my Uber customers as a seminal figure of the popularity of South Beach. But it is true. It is true that he did contribute to the popularity of Miami Beach in the late 90s and the club culture. And I met him. There used to be a club on Collins called Club Bed. It was like a little nightclub, but instead of like a bar and tables, there were beds. You could like reserve a bed. And I think I just started working for the Herald at the time, and I don't know how I got invited. Britney Spears was there that night too. It was Britney Spears and Puff Daddy at the peak of their popularity. I don't know how I got in. I got in some kind of Miami Herald hookup, because we had just interviewed Puff Daddy. El Nuevo Herald had just interviewed Puff Daddy, and then there was an event, and I somehow got on the list to it. And the bar was packed. I remember. This is a memory going back almost 25 years, people, so bear with me. It was packed bar, club, people walking shoulder to shoulder, and I found myself right behind Puff Daddy. I looked at him and I was like, oh shit, that's Puff Daddy. And I don't know, maybe I was drinking, maybe I was drunk, I was young, who knows? I was probably like 21, 22 years old. I was like, yo, Puff. I said, yo, Puff. And he turned around and I held out my hand and I'm like, oh, I said something like, oh, you were just at the Herald. I work at the Herald. We just interviewed you. And he's like, oh yeah, hey, how you feeling? And he shook my hand. He was nice. He wasn't a dick. And kept moving, just like a little, an innocent little encounter. I remember seeing Britney Spears on one of the beds, but I don't have much more recollection of that night, other than like I was there and I don't know. Puff Daddy. I also met Jennifer Lopez too. We'll save that for another live stream, because this one is not, I don't know, I'm not feeling this live stream, guys. I'm like perturbed. I'm kind of at a, I don't know, I'm kind of uncomfortable. I just kind of want to take a shower and hit the road again. I'm starting to feel more comfortable in my Uber than I am in my own home. Does that make sense to anybody who drives Uber? Like, I feel anxiety when I'm at home because nothing in here is the way I want it to be. I've been trying to fix my apartment and clean up all the junk that I have accumulated. A lot of it's from my parents' house that was never in my vicinity. Like, it was in storage, like all those baseball cards I have and all the books and stuff. Like, that wasn't necessarily a part of my world on a day-to-day basis. And now I have it looking at me. And I feel like, I don't know. It's just kind of like the technology thing. I feel like I'm behind right now. I'm behind. What's that term they use? Behind the 8 ball. Behind the 8 ball. That means you're not going to, you can't hit the ball you want to hit because it's behind the 8 ball. You can't hit the 8 ball. You think I can, you think I should do the real estate thing? And yeah, it would take a long time. It takes a long time to study. Yeah, Gloria Estefan. That's why I said 90s. Gloria Estefan definitely put Miami on the map in the 80s, right? Yeah, Miami Sound Machine. And after her, a lot of the freestyle acts from New York kind of provided the soundtrack to the Miami lifestyle. The Lisa and the Cult Jams. People don't realize how popular that music was. When you go to one of these, they have these I love the 90s concerts where I was watching some Vanilla Ice stories, and that Vanilla Ice was just a little bit after that. I think Vanilla Ice kind of killed that scene. Lisa and the Cult Jam, Expose, Stevie B, all those like late 80s, early 90s freestyle bands that popped up. That was like around the time of right after Gloria Estefan. Oh my god, this is great, captivating information, Mario. Let's just fucking yawn and let's just fall asleep on a live stream. And now Miami, I don't know if there's a central figure in Miami that is leading the culture. I guess in hip hop, Rick Ross is a big deal here. Rick Ross, but it's a continuation of the hip hop culture that P. Diddy started. But Rick Ross is really a Miami dude. Carol City, I believe. Found out some interesting things about Carol City. They wanted to call it, I'm sorry I fallen asleep here, guys. Carol City, which is not the best neighborhood. They wanted to call it Coral City. Coral City. But the city of Coral Gables had an issue with that. That's what I heard. That's the rumor I heard. And they're like, oh, okay, you don't want Coral City and Coral Gables is too similar. So they just switched the O and the A. Carol City. I don't know if that's true, but I heard it somewhere. Right now, I see a lot of these TikTok people in Brickell. Miami's just full of transplants now. I say this all the time when I give rides in Brickell and Miami Beach. I don't meet people that were like me, that were like either born or raised here. All I drive around is transplants from New York, L.A., Chicago, Texas. Maybe not so much Texas, but what other cities? Canada. A lot of Canadians here. Canadians come to visit too. I don't know. It's like America's playground, Miami. All these people who are like the influencers and the YouTubers and stuff, they all have like $1 million condos on Brickell. You see this one dude by Brickell City Center always interviewing somebody or with his camera out there making some silly TikTok videos. But most of the people that are here, I don't think they know about Miami or the history of Miami. Or it always bothers me when they ask me, they're like, "Oh, you're from here?" Like, where else would I be from, dude? I'm an Uber driver. Like, where else would I be from? Like, did you think I moved here to become an Uber driver? Like you? Like, you work for JP Morgan, and after the pandemic, now you can work from home. You moved to Miami. Do you think Uber drivers did that? Yeah, I'm an Uber driver from New York, but I recently moved to Miami because it's so much cheaper to live here. Like, no. Pretty much, if you're an Uber driver, I mean, maybe they mean like, am I from like another country? But people are surprised when you say that you grew up here or you went to high school here. Like, really? Whoa. Like I lived here before shit was discovered. These transplants think that Miami just became a city like 8 years ago. No, it's been here. There was a whole TV show. It's called Miami Vice. Don't know if you've heard of it. Don Johnson. Another thing that kind of trips me out is how people who consume content. Let's suppose you're in your 20s, man. A lot of people don't have a recollection of 9/11. Like, that's old. That's like old history to them. Like that, kind of like the way I think about everything that happened in the 70s and 60s, like JFK assassination and Jimmy Carter era. Like, I wasn't born then, so like I feel like that in some weird way, it's like I blocked that out of my memory. Well, not my memory, but like my database of things that I bring up. And to think about like the young people today and what they've blocked out and what they don't think about or think is real or that ever happened. Like Miami Vice, the TV series, that is so far removed from any young person's recollection or understanding. It's interesting to think about. With movies too, like I was on, my sister says like she does like movie references to the people, the younger people she works with, and they don't get it. They look at her like, "What?" And we're talking about like classic movies, like Jim Carrey movies. Like try here's a thing. Try next time you're with a young person, make a reference to a movie like Dumb and Dumber or Ace Ventura. And let's see if they get it. Like say, "Alrighty then," or "So you think, so you're saying there's a chance." Maybe they'll get that because some of these things were turned into memes. Right? But I'm thinking like even movies that came out in the early aughts or late 2000s. Does anybody ever remember movies that came out in like 2008? I don't know. All right. Let me put on the green. I don't know what else to say, guys. I'm going to do the how long has this thing been going on? How's the quality, by the way? Yeah, and I never watched CSI Miami. I thought those were like the cheesiest shows. CSI Miami, Tesla Ride Chronicles, The Mask. Yeah, The Mask. There's one scene in The Mask when you first see Cameron Diaz in The Mask and she's walking in slow motion in the bank. Wow, man. What a knockout Cameron Diaz was in that time. Yeah, I heard she quit acting. Have you seen her in a movie lately? She hasn't been in any movies. I met Cameron Diaz once, too. I met Cameron Diaz in Miami. She owned a restaurant, or she was investing in a restaurant that I was invited to. It was another Herald thing. I've kind of met a lot of celebrities, guys. I would like to have my friend from the Herald. I'm going to ask her to see if she wants to be on the podcast, but she lives kind of far, and that was actually the first time I met her. I met Cameron Diaz and my friend with the Herald. Maybe she'll come on and we can reminisce about that time. All right, let's do floating head time. We'll try to look at some interesting YouTube history, and then I got to shower and put some pep in my step. Sorry, guys. I'm just in a kind of laid back mood, and I feel like I'm going to work the rest of the night in this mood too. All right, floating head time. Don't mind the dead air. It'll take like 15 seconds. I'm still here, guys. I'm putting on the floating head shirt. Woo-wee. Can't put these on. All right. Maybe we should do There we go. It's floating head time. Forgot I had to talk into a microphone. All right, floating head time. Let's see what kind of things we can look up. Oh, fuck, I left the goddamn mouse on the floor. I wish I need another mouse too. It's just everything in my life right now is incomplete. Like I have enough just to go live, just to do this. I have enough just to make a vlog, to film myself doing vlogs, to edit. But it's like I'm always like 85% of the way there. Anyways. All right, there we go. Let's see what my YouTube history is like. I realized on the last live stream I fucked up. I'm going to talk about it on the vlog. When I talked about the Chick-fil-A girl and the Olivia Rodrigo TikTok, I didn't have the headphones on, so it was like I had background noise in the background, and it just sounded like shit. So hopefully this sounds better. All right. What have I been watching on YouTube? All right, that's my own vlog. Don't forget to comment and subscribe to that Spanish channel, even if you don't speak Spanish, man. Give me some. I got like 300 and something odd followers on that one. I want to get that one to 1,000 as well. All right. And it should be behind me, or else the floating head is not visible. All right. It's just so funny. All right.
Let's see. Let's look at our YouTube history. Oh, look at that. It's me. Oh, this is me figuring out how to adjust the screen on, can you guys see that? On OBS. I'm also doing this the complete, like the hardest way possible. Kodak Black. Did Diddy do it? So everybody, oh, that's the other thing about the news cycle right now is like something happens in the news and then everybody you follow talks about it and has like puts their 2 cents in. So like the news gets like rebroadcasted and rumors start flying. I've heard people saying rumors of what he's accused of. Okay, this is not. Oh, I've been watching a lot of Vanilla Ice interviews. He was on Steve-O's podcast, and Vlad TV did a thing with Vanilla Ice. Right here, he's talking. I only watched half of this. He was talking about the movie Cool as Ice, which I never saw in the theaters when it came out. But I did rent it or whatever. I don't know if I rented it or downloaded it or if it was on something streaming. Hold on. I hope this is not too loud. But he's talking about, it was actually a pretty good movie. The movie Cool as Ice is actually a pretty good movie. It's one of the, I hate that I can't monitor if this is the problem that happened the last live stream, is that I don't have headphones. So, whatever. He's there. Vanilla Ice said some interesting things. You know, he owns the rights to the song that Ice Ice Baby stole from, the Queen song. I was watching some Emma Chamberlain vlogs. This girl's super popular, and she started when she was like 16. And this video is like, here's why I think like having the best equipment of everything is overrated, because like these shots of her on her bed are like 720p. Like, this is not a great shot, you know. This is not it. This is not well lit. The audio is okay, but it's her. It's her. She's authentically her, and people subscribe to her and follow her. Look at that, 12 million subs. Crazy, right? What else have I been watching? Here we go. This is how I was able to use the computer that I'm on right now. So my aunt gives me this laptop, and I saw exactly this. She couldn't remember what password. She was at the Geek Squad. She got it at Best Buy. So I'm sure they asked her, like, just come up with a password that you'll remember to log into the computer. It's not your Apple ID. It's just your computer lock screen password. She couldn't remember it. So she gave me a bunch of them. I got locked out of her account, and eventually I was like, okay, well, you know your Apple ID. I think there's a way I can bypass or reset the password. But so that this is exactly what I did. This is what you're seeing now on the screen. This is exactly what I did. So she did remember her Apple ID. I go, that's the password you use when you download an app. And it worked. And it's still under her name. I just reset the password, and I logged into my Apple ID, so I can easily transfer files with AirDrop and everything. All right. Timcast, Pete. I've been listening to a lot of Pete and Sebastian. I listen to Timcast live. Man, they do. Man, I have a new respect for people that go live and have a well-produced show, because it is hard. Then again, they have a lot of guests. There's always a conversation going on. It's not just one guy talking into a microphone and doing the producing. Pete and Sebastian show. Really like these guys. Sebastian Maniscalco and Pete Coriali. They have a podcast, and I enjoy listening to them. Here's the Chick-fil-A sauce girl. Let's see. No Chick-fil-A sauce? Man, this girl, she needs to get an agent or a manager real quick, man, because she is funny. She's funny, like not just this video funny. On her Instagram or TikTok or wherever I see her, she answers questions and she does that look. She does it. Like, that's her personality. Like, her cousin was probably just filming her like, oh my God, let's go film Gina, how awkward she is. And it's funny. She's like, she does the thing with her tongue too. She's like, so I want to get into like, I like to paint, I like to draw, and I like to do all sorts of different creative activities. She sticks out her tongue. I don't know why she does that, but it works. It works, honey. I'm all for it. Joe Rogan, H3, what else? Haven't seen a lot of. There we go. Look at this P. Diddy. Look, this is like one of the creepy videos. People thought like they were having like an Illuminati meeting here. You know, there was a period where, look at the look on P. Diddy's eyes. He was kind of going through some shit in the last few years. Like pre-pandemic times, people were like questioning whether P. Diddy was all there or not. Like he was like saying some weird shit. His music, he would feature on other artists' tracks, and he had like a rage about him. So it's really weird. And I don't think anybody really knows the facts, so let me not jump to conclusions. I don't know what he did, but I find it strange. Here's the Chick-fil-A sauce girl again. Look, it's her. She looks like, see, in real life, she's beautiful. She's a beautiful young woman. Her sister's pretty too. Look, see, she does that face. Look at all these content creators capitalizing off of her things. Like, they're like, oh, she's doing this and that. Like, dude, you're posting her content and making money off of it. Like, don't act like this is just like you're free from this culture. Like, you hopped on the trend too. All right, this was an uneventful episode of Floating Thing. I love Dana White. I've been trying to listen to Dana White on podcasts. I like the way he talks, and it's very motivational. I haven't listened to this one yet, though, but I clicked on it. A lot of these I clicked on and I did not listen to. Let's see. Sexy Red. I had some customers play Sexy Red in my Uber. She was like, can we have aux? And I'm like, sure, connect your Bluetooth. And they were listening to Sexy Red. And these are young girls. It was like during spring break. And then they were like, she was like saying some foul language. like, suck on my whatever. And the girl's friends were like, oh, excuse me, Mr. Uber driver. Like, I never felt so old in my life as when young women were apologizing to me because the songs they were playing on my Uber had foul language. Oh my God, I'm so old. Bill Burr on The Breakfast Club. You could skip it. Nothing. Love Tim Dillon, his rants. Man, if I could go on rants like Tim Dillon. Love Charlemagne. All right. Sneakers podcast. This guy does a good job. I'll end on this guy. This guy does a good job. All he does is, and he's got over 1,000K subs. He goes over. He's like the podcast reviewer, or talks about things, controversies that happen in podcasts. In Joe Rogan, Impulsive, Theo Vaughn, Andrew Schultz. This guy. His channel is called Comedy Enforcement. Look at that. He's got a lot of subs, 126,000. He does a good job. And like, he's got a great little setup there. You could tell he's got a good setup. He automates his little clips well. He edits it. You know, he's not live. Maybe that's what I should do. Maybe instead of live, I should maybe before I go live, I should just produce them. The problem with it is that I don't have time. I don't have time to even edit my vlogs. How am I going to have time to edit a 2-hour podcast? All right. These Disney guys went to Tokyo. Sneaker shopping. My little Dominican. Oh, this is something that I like watching. This is how my girlfriend talks. This girl right here with the pink jacket, she reminds me of my girlfriend. I love these. This is like a group of YouTubers from Dominican Republic. They all have their own channels called 4K Mas Flow. But they do these little impromptu. They do a really good job. It's these impromptu little soap opera type scenarios, and I think they improvise a lot of it. But this is the way my girlfriend talks, and I love the way they talk. They talk with such, like, I don't know, bravado and attitude and happiness and anything. The Dominican people are very, very lovely people. They're funny as hell, too. I laugh so hard. Sometimes this is what I laugh. This is like my comedy. And then I add, when they say something that I don't understand, I'll call my girlfriend and be like, what does this mean? Anyways, all right, guys. Sorry, this was a boring episode. I hope that the quality's good. Every one of these episodes that I've done, there's always something wrong with them, but there's always something that goes right. So all we have to do is practice enough and get it down to the point where I can flip the switch and create a live podcast that isn't crappy, that's entertaining, that has a good guest. Several people I've already contacted that are down to do it. It's just timing, and it's having the time available. But I want to get my nephews I want to teach them how to use this OBS software so that I can have them here. And I can even interact with my nephews on this podcast. I need a new mic. I'm going to have this mic over there for the producer, and I'm going to get the arm. I might get another one of these, a different one, but same company, the SE Audio. I think they make the best mics. so that we can have at least 3 mics available at any given time. All right, guys, what time is it? I'm going to start Ubering. It's only 6. I'm going to sign off. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching or listening to the Red Chair podcast. They're going to get better, guys. Just hang with me. Stay with me. Stay with me. They're going to get better. I should have just called this the Floating Head podcast, but whatever. Is there something that I forgot to say? Nothing. These... No, I guess not. I just got way too many things on my head, on my mind. So anyways, I'm going to sign off. Comment below how the quality was. And I'm going to try to vlog this weekend. Maybe Sunday you'll have a vlog, or Saturday. Who knows? It's depending how the week goes. It's amazing that I used to vlog every day for 100 days in a row. Like, how did I do that? And I think it's because in the slow season, you can have a set schedule because it was always slow. But, all right, guys, I'm not going to bore you anymore. Thanks for joining me. Remember, should I do that on this one too? Leave a like, comment, and subscribe with a B. I can't put the B here. Oh, but I did find out how to do this. Let's see. The sussometer. I'm gonna my spread shop. I have to update my spread shop. I'm gonna make the sussometer T-shirt too. So, all right, guys. My whole life and my whole world is falling apart. Thanks for being a part of it. Subscribe.